Hello. I am live. Well, I'm hoping I'm live. I'm going to go and check it out in a sec. If you are joining me, let me know. I'm very, very excited to talk about this one today because we're talking all about the business roadmap. Now, I'm just going to check that I'm live. So bear with me 1 second. Yes, I am. Fantastic. Good. Okay, let's shut off the Wi-Fi. Perfect. Okay, so I want to talk about business model roadmaps today because it's really, really important. And I think it's something that we don't discuss enough in the online world. And the reason that we don't discuss it enough in the online world is probably, in all honesty, because if we were discussing it so often, or if we were discussing it regularly, then the gurus would have nothing left to sell, right? Because everyone's selling the sexy stuff. Hey Sam, how are you, my love? When you get here, let me know. And if you know there are other people who would like to be here but who aren't here, please hit the little share button and just type in their names of the usual suspects so they can come and join the conversation. So, business roadmaps, what are they? Why are they important? Who here has a business roadmap? Is there anyone that's joining me today that's like, actually Jess, I've got a business roadmap. I know what a business roadmap is and I'm happy following it. Is there anybody on here who already has a business roadmap? Let me know. Oh my goodness. So apparently my share thing doesn't work when I'm going for my business page. This is smart. Okay. I'm just testing out as normal the new functions with Facebook Live and business pages. Because it turns out there's a lot of differences. Okay, there we go. So, hey Shoshana, yes, this did just start. I probably have one and I don't call it that. Sam, I don't fully know what one is. Okay, cool. So, obviously, when you get here, if you're watching the replay, let us know. Say hi. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you are here and you're like, there are people who should be here but aren't, tag them and let them know that we're live. So, a business roadmap really focuses on the key actions that you need to take to get to the next stage in your business. So obviously everybody comes into business and we have specific goals, and for some people that's I want to make 6 figures a year. For some people it's I want to get a certain amount of clients per year, I want to have a certain amount of brand visibility, all of that kind of stuff. And the interesting thing with a business and with an entrepreneur is that we tend to have like squirrel minds. I don't know whether anybody else is like me, but when I started out in business, I had all of these huge goals that I wanted to achieve. I was like, yeah, I want to be making the 10k a month, and I want to be in all the major magazines, and I want to be doing all the, website stuff and have a really, really cool sales funnel and automated webinars, all that kind of thing. But all the thoughts were like coming at once. So I was never just sat there focusing on one thing at a time. And it really, really held me back. And it was one of the biggest things in my business that kept me stuck for a lot longer than I needed to be. Because whilst I had a plan of where I wanted to be, I didn't have a plan of action on how to get to that point. And so what would happen was I just see like a ton of Facebook famous people, as I call it, and they'd all be releasing all of these offers. And so somebody would launch an offer on challenges, and somebody would launch an offer on automated webinars, and somebody would launch an offer on like sales funnels or Facebook groups, making money in Facebook groups, whatever. And so I'd see all of these things and I was exposed to them all the time. I'd be like, oh my god, well, I have to do that, and I have to do this, and I have to do that, right? I don't know whether anybody else here has been through that point. And so I'd end up buying all of these courses, and I went through a stage in, I think it was 2015, where I actually spent about $8,500. I put a graphic in this group when the group was relatively new, and I was like, I've spent about $8,500, which was about like £10,000 at that point, on courses, and I hadn't really completed any of them. And it was really, really mortifying and really embarrassing to admit, because I was like, oh, well, here I am doing all this stuff, taking all these courses, and I haven't really completed any of them because there was so much going on all the time in my head. I was like, I've got to be doing this, I've got to be doing that. And it was really, really tough. And so your business roadmap is what actually protects you from that happening. And that's why I want to talk about it today, because it is so important that when you have a business and when you have a goal, you actually take the actions that you need to get to that goal before you start setting another goal or before you start doing something else. Does that all make sense? Everyone happy with that? Okay. So with the business roadmap, when we look at it, there are 3 specific stages that your business will be in. And there are many people out there, and I'm sure that many people have different kind of terms, but the way that I identify it in my business is there are 3 specific phases, and you will go through them. It will take you either a certain amount of time or a certain amount of revenue or a certain amount of actions to get through to the next phase. So it's really easy to understand when you are at the next stage, because you're like, oh, okay, and you can quite easily self-identify it. And the best bit about it is that obviously when you are able to self-identify where your business is and where you want it to go, you can look at the exact steps on the business roadmap and be like, right, okay, well, of course, if I want to do this, I need to take these actions, right? Makes it a lot easier. So the first stage on the business roadmap is startup, okay? That is the startup phase. It's when you are making less than 5K a month consistently. So, typically your startup phase is going to be tricky in terms of it's going to be a lot of inconsistent revenue, and it's going to be where you're making lower revenue each month. You're going to be making between 0 and 5K a month, and it's going to be proactive. Okay, you're going to be spending and investing a lot of time rather than necessarily money. And I don't mean that in terms of what you're investing in coaching, but I mean that in terms of what you would be investing on traffic, right? So your startup phase, and this is the exact strategy I use, right? I invested a ton of time. I spent a ton of time in a bunch of Facebook groups, like, right, okay, I'm making less than 5K a month, and in order to make the most amount of money with the best amount of energy and time, I'm going to not pay for traffic, and I'm going to focus my time and energy on getting clients, right? Hey Liz, how are you? We were just talking about business roadmaps. I'm excited. Like geeking out on all of the business stuff. So we've just talked about it, the fact that there are 3 phases to the business roadmap, and the first is startup. So when you're in your startup phase, you're kind of feast or famine in terms of inconsistent income, and you're doing something between 0 and 5K a month, and you're probably doing that on like a proactive basis, right? So you're in Facebook groups, you're spending a lot of time on generating leads or clients, but you're not necessarily having to spend lots of money, or you shouldn't really be spending any money in terms of paid traffic. So that was like my favorite phase. And actually for most people, and this is like a little known fact, right? Your startup phase is actually your most profitable phase in your business, because at that point in time, it's not costing you money to run your business, and it's not costing you money to generate leads. It's costing you time, which, as we all know, goes to money. But in that phase of your business, any money that you're actually making while you're in the startup phase means that it's pure profit, right? Hey Kelly, how are you? Yay, you're live. So that's the startup phase. The second phase we have is the development phase. And this is like your business kind of becomes a teenager in the development phase. And it's where it's tricky, because when you're in the development phase, you don't necessarily identify it by revenue. Okay, so when you're in the development phase, you could be making anywhere between 5K and 15K a month, right? But you know that you're in the development phase because that's when you start experimenting with stuff. Your business is like that kind of unruly teen who's like, I'm going to do everything. I'm going to try, alcohol, and I'm going to try driving, and I'm going to try everything else I shouldn't be touching. But it's when most of the major decisions about how your business is going to happen long term. And that's what makes it so interesting. And it's actually a really exciting phase of your business. It's why it can't be judged by cash. Hey, Suze, how are you, my love? It's why it can't be judged by cash or purely on revenue. Because actually, at that point in your business, you are probably going to be spending some money on hiring people. So you'll be spending money probably hiring a VA, hiring somebody to do branding, graphics, like website, whatever. So your income will actually take a little bit of a dip because your expenses will go up. but you are probably making more money. And again, when it comes to it, you probably won't be spending a lot of money on paid traffic. Hey Kathy, and I've already said hello to Suze. I'm like having one of those days. It's been so sunny today. I don't know whether anyone else experiences this, but it's been so sunny today that I'm basically brain fried. So I've been like, oh, this is so nice in the sun, and then I've come indoors and been like, oh gosh, life. I have to do real life now. So yeah, so you get the startup phase and the development phase. And the best thing that you can do in terms of your business in the development phase is make a plan. Right? This is the key thing. Because you can't identify it by cash alone, you have to start identifying what is actually working for you. And when I say working for you, I mean what is actually making you the money. Hey Erica, how are you, my love? I think this is the first time that you've been on a live. So welcome. Welcome to your first ever live. But yeah, so that's the thing, right? You can't judge it by cash. You have to start planning for where your business wants to be. And this is when you start experimenting with what is actually going to work and what is going to be able to be monetized in your business. So is that going to be automated webinars? Is that going to be challenges? Is it going to be masterclasses? Is it going to be, things that aren't automated? Is it going to be things that are proactive? Like, are you going to do proactive sales? And it's also where you get to make a lot of decisions about the offerings that you're going to sell long term. Okay, and most people think that this happens in the startup phase. Okay, everyone's like, oh, but when you start up, you decide on your offer. Well, no, when you start up, you decide, okay, what's the thing that I can sell that's going to bring me the most joy, my clients the most transformation, and I'm going to be able to charge the most amount of money for, right? That's what you should be thinking in startup. And it sounds a little bit mercenary, but actually it's a smart way to run your business, because you make a ton of profit, your clients get a ton of transformations, you get a ton of results, choose for testimonials, all well and good. Okay. Hey Joyce. Enjoy your boot campus call. In the development phase, you get to make some more decisions about where your business is going and about how you actually want to run it. So you can then start looking at, do I want to run group programs? Do I want to start running lower ticket offers? Do I want to create a membership site? Do I want to, create some like one-off intensives? Like, how do I want my business to run long term? And it doesn't become just about profit anymore. It becomes about, okay, how many people am I bringing in? How many people am I converting? Is my lead generation regular, etc., etc. And that's why the development phase is a really wonky period of time for most business owners. And it's also when most business owners go through that bit where they're like, oh God, I really want to quit, because they're trying so many different things. They're pouring money into so many different kinds of avenues. And it feels like you're doing all the work, and maybe it's not coming back as quickly as you want. And in the development phase, again, you can start experimenting with things like Facebook ads, right? But experimenting. And you should only be doing it when you're at the higher end of the cash flow spectrum, right? If you're making 10K consistently a month, yes, off you go and experiment with cash flow and Facebook ads and all that kind of stuff. I love it, Kelly. Wonky is the perfect word. It really is. Things start to kind of tilt on the scale, and you've got to... I think most people get into the thing in the development phase where they're like, oh, I have lots of, or a higher amount of revenue coming in regularly and consistently, so I can spend more. And we tend to get into that mentality of, oh, great, what's coming in? I'm just going to spend it. When actually what we need to look at is, okay, strategically, where do I need to spend that money? And that is when you look at, okay, do I really want to automate my business? Do I want to keep my business live? Do I want a proactive sales model, or a more automated evergreen model? And then the third phase that you have is your automated and scale up phase, right? That is that's, I guess, the fun phase, but also the most terrifying of the three. And there is a reason that I will go absolutely balls to the wall and say that the automate and scale phase is the scariest phase. Because when you think about it, right, when I started my business, hey Claire, yay, it's your first live. Woo woo woo. You can join Erica in the first live of Thursday Club. So when you first start up your business, you actually are kind of like, okay, great, you're really highly motivated and you don't have too much to lose, right? You've started up. Yes, you may have quit your job, but you are still in enough time that you could go and get another job. You could kind of like save yourself, you know, all that kind of stuff. You're not too far down the rabbit hole. When you get into the development phase, it's harder. You're kind of like, I couldn't work anywhere anymore because nobody accepts people that only want to work in pajamas. So, you know, I have to make it work. But you are at a phase in your business where you're like, I could keep this proactive for a long time and I could just sell premium one-on-one stuff. And you know what? It would probably be okay for like 3 to 4 years before you know, massively burn out. When you get to automate and scale, that's when it becomes actually kind of terrifying, because suddenly you're like, I have to make this big leap because I want time. I want time back. Like, I don't want to necessarily have to go into 10 Facebook groups and post my thing. And I also maybe have like one sales funnel running that is like working, but I don't really know how to replicate that or what else I could be selling to make it evergreen. There are like all these thoughts going on in your head, and the problem is that by that point in time, when you get to the automate and scale level, when you're making 15k or more consistently a month and you want more time back, you want more time freedom, you are too invested to go backwards, right? At that point, it becomes the tipping point where you either say, yes, I'm going to embrace automation and I'm going to spend quite a lot of money on technology, on a team, on Facebook ads, paid traffic, or you go, actually, this is not for me. I don't want to automate. I want to scale. And instead, I'm going to have a different business model that's still going to involve me being like proactive. And that's actually terrifying, because you have to make that decision. And it's quite scary, because both of them at that point involve large investments. So you're not just talking about large investments in terms of technology, team, paid traffic, etc. You're also talking about coaching and about learning and development, because at that point in time, you must learn from somebody who has done it before. And really, in every stage, you want to be learning from somebody who's done it before, but there are different ways to learn. You know, in the startup phase, you could join a great membership site, you could join a great group program, you could, hire a one-on-one coach if you wanted to, but there are 2 other options that will get you, where you need to be, right? In the development stage, again, you could join a really hybrid or high-level group program, you could hire a one-on-one coach, you could also join a membership site for community and accountability if you wanted to. In the automate and scale phase, you can still be part of a membership site, but it's very unlikely that there are going to be group programs that are going to take you through the automation process in the depth that you need it to. And if there are those around, they're going to be high-level masterminds, and you're talking about a substantial cost investment. And I guess what I'm trying to say is not, don't get to the point in your business where you need to automate and scale, because we all want to be at that point in our business. What I'm saying is, at every single level, the investment is comparable to what you're making, right? The investment doesn't change. It doesn't get less scary. It doesn't get easier. It doesn't, get to the point where you're like, oh, cool, I'm earning a ton of money, so I'm just going to drop 20k and not worry about it. The investments go up as you grow up, right? And that's the thing. When we look at a business roadmap, and this is why this is so important. I'm just going to turn my light on because nobody can actually see me. A business roadmap is really important because it stops you buying the stuff that you don't need, okay? I love it, Liz. Love makeup free days. That's why I'm not going back to corporate. I feel your pain, Liz. I feel your pain. There we go. I'm light again. This is why business roadmaps are so important, because what happens is when we don't know, when we're not able to identify where we are in our business and identify clearly the right strategy that we need to move forward, it can be really, really easy to be like, oh, cool, I'm just going to go and buy that really epic high-level mastermind. And because I spent 20k on it, obviously, I'm going to, get 10 times the investment. But actually, that's not the case. If you buy things that are too high level for you or too advanced for you, it doesn't mean that you're not capable. It means that you're putting yourself in a situation where actually the strategies are going to be too far ahead for where your business and for where your cost base currently is. And it puts you into that feeling of, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed. And so instead of enjoying the experience and making the most of it and getting the results, actually you fall behind and you procrastinate and you get really overwhelmed and you're like, oh, this is too much. It's too big. It's too scary, right? Whereas when you invest in things at the right level for you, yes, it can be a bit frustrating to be like, oh gosh, I've got to learn to do sales calls properly. Oh, I've got to learn to, monetize my Facebook group. I've got to learn to grow my tribe. Those things aren't as sexy as being like, hey, make money overnight, right? I get it. But they will actually get you better results, because when you buy for where you are and where you need to grow to, you get much better results than if you're just like, yeah, sure, I'm just going to buy like whatever. And because I'm there, it's going to happen for me, right? Joyce, I have to learn sales properly. You are rocking cash creation, so that's not even a thing. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk about today. And when you are on your business roadmap, there are certain things that you need to be doing and that you need to focus on. So for example, when you're in the startup phase, you need to focus on making money. I know, right? It's unbelievable. Okay, it's unbelievable. But when you start your business needs to make money now, right? Not in 6 months, not in 12 months. Right now, your business needs to be making cash. It's not mercenary. Okay. Yes, we want to help people. Yes, we want to impact people. But in order to keep doing that, we also need to keep creating cash. So at that point in your business, your focus needs to be, I need to make money with what I have. At that point in your business, your focus does not need to be, I'm going to go and get featured in this magazine. I'm going to go and do like a million podcasts, or worse, I'm going to set up my own, because that's a whole load of pain that you just don't need when you're starting up. And equally, when you get into the development phase, right? In the development phase, you don't want to commit to a huge, like a year-long coaching course where actually you've got to do like a massive launch and you're going to spend 30 grand on Facebook ads to have a 6-figure launch, where you're like, I don't have 30 grand. Like, I just paid you 20. What? Like, and at that point, your business, when you get to that development phase, your job is not necessarily to just create cash. It's to grow your tribe. It's like, okay, I've got this money-making thing down. Like, I've got this. Now I need to grow my tribe. I need to grow my leads. I need to grow my community so that actually I can keep generating cash, because I've got that bit now, right? And then when you automate and scale, again, it comes down to, right, I've got a tribe. I've got the ability to sell. How do I expand that? How do I expand that so I don't have to do it? And that's when you actually nurture people in an automated way, right? That's when your email sequences come into play, and when you look at advanced tagging and, all that kind of crazy stuff that comes up on ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft or whatever you're using that you don't really understand, that's when it appears in your business. Okay, Shoshana, where were you 2.5 years ago? I'm sorry, I was around. I was here. 2.5 years ago, I was in the startup phase of my business, right? I was making money. That's what I was doing 2.5 years ago, creating cash. I was like, okay, cool. And I was in 2.5 years ago, I was in tons of Facebook groups. I was in the Entrepreneur Incubator. I was in all those groups. I was making money. I was talking to people. I was helping them. I was giving value. I was asking for the sale. That's what I was doing 2.5 years ago. And then last year, the beginning of last year, 2016, was when I was like, okay, I'm in Automate. Like, now I want to automate my business. And it cost me a ton of money, right? It did. But now, a year later, and this is the thing, right? A year later, it's recouped the cost, absolutely. Have there been a lot of sleepless nights? Yes. Would I have been able to do it easier if I'd made different choices? Yes. Should I have made different investments? Absolutely. Like, when I was in the development stage of my business, I went off and did like a Facebook ads course and a webinars course, all by great people. Thing is though, I was in the development stage of my business. I didn't know whether I wanted to do Facebook ads. I didn't know if I wanted to do webinars. I didn't even like webinars or anything like that. So I was just like, oh, this sucks. I love it. Liz, I just signed up to ClickFunnels. Are you going to yell at me? No, I'm not, because at this point in your business, if you need ClickFunnels, you need ClickFunnels, right? Like, P.S. Did you sign up through my affiliate link? No, it's fine. But seriously, right? You've got to make the right investments. Joyce has it as well. You guys are so lucky because coming out of Cash Creation, you have a one of my exact sales funnel templates that goes into the Cash Creation portal that you can literally just download and put into your ClickFunnels account. So that's going to make your life easier, if anything. But yeah, so this is what I mean. You know, do what you need to do for where you actually are, and don't get oversold, right? If you know that you're like, I'm making less than 5k a month, my job is to create cash in my business, go create cash. Go learn about things that are going to teach you how to make money in your business. If you're in the development phase and you're like, okay, I now need to look at what my long-term strategy is going to be. Do I want to, what kind of offers I want to put out there? I'm going to experiment with different sales styles and, you know, maybe like a simple sales funnel that's automated so that it doesn't freak me out when I get to the next level, right? Those are the things you need to be doing in the development phase. And then when you get to automate and scale, then it's like, okay, cool, I need to hire a great team, bring them in, get them to do the work. Yeah. Joyce, woohoo! I'm doing my happy dance. Shoshana, what level is Cash Creation for? Cash Creation is for level 1. Okay, so if you're in the startup phase and you need to create cash, that is what something like Cash Creation is for. Go learn to make money. Development phase, go learn to grow your tribe. You know, look at things that will teach you how to list build, look at things that will teach you how to create multiple offers, look at things that will teach you PR, podcasting, like all of these strategies that you can use to get your name and brand out there and grow your audience. And then automation, get everything that's going to teach you how to nurture them, right, on an automated basis. Liz, and it works. I love Cash Creation. Cash Creation does work. It's awesome. Like, and I was talking to my team about this today, so you guys have got the sneak peek because I literally just got off the phone with Jodie. We are running one more round of Cash Creation this year, starting June 29th. Or that's when it will be, that's when the launch date is. So that's when the official date that Cash Creation opens this year is. And after that, we're not going to run another round this year. And I said that when we ran the first round. And I think I said it when we ran the second round. But there is a reason. And the reason is that we've run 4 rounds in 6 months. And it's a lot. So we're like, right, for the rest of this year, we won't be opening the doors to Cash Creation again. So after the June round, there will be no more Cash Creation until February 2018. Like that, it was the last time that we'll run it live, will be June. Which I'm excited about and sad about, but it's going to be the best thing. So if you are somebody who's like, oh, I'm in phase 1, make sure that you are on the waiting list for Cash Creation, because yeah, it's going to be the last round this year. You need to create your own cash. Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I'm going to go and create my own cash. But it's true, right? You know, I said to all the guys that are in the current round of Cash Creation, between now and when we launch the next round of Cash Creation, and as well for the Dotties, it's going to be really cool because I'll get to do my own launch processes. So everybody that's kind of in Dotties and stuff will get to see the behind the scenes of how I'm launching things in my business and what that actually looks like and how we do that. So, you know, I think your business doesn't change. And I guess this is the thing, like when you have a roadmap for your business, when you know where you want to go, sometimes it can be really easy to be like, yeah, I want to do 7 figures. But in order to do 7 figures, you need to be in the automate and scale part of your business and that sort of phase in your business. Because honestly, you could probably get to 7 figures in your development phase, but it would kill you. Like, you would be burnt out because you'd be selling things proactively all of the time and it would just be horrendous. 6 figures you can get to with ease in the startup or development phase. So when you think about setting your goals and stuff, if you're like, I want to get to 6 figures, you can get to 6 figures in your startup phase with very low costs, with, you know, plain hard work, really, which isn't sexy, right? You're talking about consistency, you're talking about cash creation, you're talking about knowing what you're doing and following and implementing the right strategy. In your development phase, you can get to multi-six figures because you're going to be playing around with some kind of versions of automated funnels. So that's simple, right? You're going to be selling premium offers plus some group things or some recurring revenue things or some things that are going to make your life a bit easier that you don't have to manage. Automate and scale is when you're going to get to 7. Okay, and again, it's not the same for everybody. If you're somebody who's consulting and your hourly rate is like $20,000, then sure, you can go ahead and you can be in your startup phase and you can create $1 million in your first year, and that's fine. But for the majority of people, that's what it looks like. That's what the real roadmap looks like. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I also, check me out on the tech level, right? I have spent today putting together a quiz. I actually did it. I actually did the technology myself. I say I did it myself. I bought a quiz calculator thing, and I've basically written this thing to this thing. But I've done a quiz, and it's only 5 questions, and you can go and you can use the quiz to identify exactly where you are in business, exactly what steps you need to take to get to the next level, and a couple of extra resources to get you there. How cool is that? Like, I'm really excited. Joyce, you're just showing off. I know, I'm so excited. So that is what is coming out. So there is going to be the quiz for you. I'm going to pop it in here into the comments and stuff so that you can all go and grab it and grab the quiz. It does work. I have tested it. Fingers crossed. So there you go. There will be a quiz in here that you can take a look at and identify where you are in your business, what you need to do to get to the next level. The other thing what was I going to say? No, I can't remember. There is something else that I was going to say, but I can't remember what that was. It probably was about the Dotties. The Dotties were supposed to open yesterday, but in the light of the kind of terror attacks and things that happened in Manchester, I didn't feel right about opening it up. I'm not in a habit of making sales, not making sales, but I'm not in a habit of pitching things when there are so many other bigger things going on in the world. So what I'm going to do with Dotties is that it will open next Wednesday. So we're going to keep the dates the same. It will open on Wednesday. The cart will open on Wednesday. You can come and you can be accepted to be a Dottie. And it will close on Sunday. So that will be that. But the proceeds for anybody that joins as a Dottie next week will be going to the families of the attacks in Manchester. That's my decision on it, and the reason I came to that decision was because I did exactly the same when there were the Paris attacks, and for me it feels like the right decision to make sure that a proportional amount of my revenue is donated to people who actually need it. So if you join the Dotties next week, if you decide that that's the time that you want to sign up, then please know that your Dottie registration, like your $47, will be going towards the families of the people who have lost their loved ones in the Manchester attacks. That's something that I just feel really strongly about, and I think that, you know, it's something that's nice to give back. So that's it, right? So that's when the Dotties will be open. I wanted to mention it because I've had a lot of questions around it. So it will be open next Wednesday. You'll be able to get in until Sunday. Yay! Come and join us. We would love to have you. I will be talking about it over the next few days. And I'm going to be in here live again tomorrow because I had a coaching session on Tuesday just before all this stuff happened, which was incredible, where we talked about some changes that are coming for my business, and I wanted to share them with you all, and share how things are going to be running in my business and the bits that you can take out for your own businesses. And so we're going to be talking about boundaries, we're going to be talking about leadership, and we're going to be talking about truth bombs. So yeah, if you're around tomorrow, it's going to be quite a controversial live, so you'll either like it, love it, or leave. Which is always good, right? So make sure you are there. We'll be going live tomorrow at 5 p.m. UK, 12 noon EST, 11 a.m. CST. All right. So there are things on the cards, and this is the final stage of the up level. It's been 6 months, so this is it, and it will be done. Claire, such a lovely gesture. Thank you, my love. If you're not in the Jotties, come join us. It's a fab group, tons of resources and just access. Thanks, Liz. But it is a great place to be. Shoshana, your biz is always changing. It is. And that's the great thing about having your own business, is that it changes as you do. And you know, I think there are a lot of things that I've played around with over the last 6 months and over the last year that have really, really, some bits I've loved and some bits I've been like, don't want to do that ever again. So that's what I want to share. That's what I want to share tomorrow, is the bits that I've loved, the bits that I haven't loved, the bits that are changing, you know, so that we can kind of be on an even keel for the next, I want to say 6 months, but I'm going to say 3 because I know what I'm like. Like it, love it, or leave. Yeah, exactly. So be here or be square, or I don't know what the actual phrase is for that. Be there, be square? I don't know. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. UK, 12 noon EST, 11 a.m. CST, and that's what we're going to be doing. The Like It, Love It, or Leave live. That's a lot of L's, but I'll see you then. All right, my loves, any questions, pop them in the comments. I'll come back in and be having a look. I'm with my cash creators tonight. Yay! So I will be back in later on, checking on any comments, any questions that you've got. See you soon.